Hey guys, what I'm going to do right now is talk to you about developing a winning mentality and knowing who you are. You see, if you actually want to achieve goals, if there's something that you really aspire to be like, you have to be clear in who you are in this world. Because we see so many things in society about how we should be, we can begin to buy into that scarcity. And to be truly abundant and to be able to succeed and to achieve and even just to thrive, you have to be clear in who you are as a person. The very foundations, the fundamental parts and the core aspect of you. You see, if you feel lost, if you're trying to be like someone else or trying to buy into other people's thoughts for where you should be, you're never going to be truly aligned in achieving anything. Or being, away from that matter, you may be achieving things, but you will not be contented, which is the real key. To be contented in who you are and where you're heading. So you have to be very clear before we start taking action on things, before we start doing the behaviors, before we even start to focus our thoughts on how to improve, we need to come up with those clear foundations of who we are. We've got to understand our values. We've got to understand our belief systems. We've got to attract in our life the right type of circumstances so we can have the life that we desire. So, I remember when I was doing my podcasting, I was getting about 1,000 a month. And I thought that my goal was just to get 1,000. And when I reached 1,000, it was staying there. Because that was what I was kind of projecting out. That was my expectation. So I began to consider, well, maybe if I go for 15,000 or 20,000. And I achieved those goals because my foundations were clear and strong in what I want. I was putting out the signal to myself, my unconscious mind, and even the world that this is how I'm going to set up the amount of downloads that I'm going to achieve. And then after a while I was hitting those targets, and then I began to expand it. And now my work is being listened to over 200,000 times a month. And that is because I had a clear understanding and a clear vision in who I am as a person. How I was going to set myself up in speaking with my voice, speaking with the thoughts that I have, my desires, and putting it out there to the world. So we have to be clear in who we are as a person being in this world, so we can then really not care about what other people think. We've got to get to that point where if someone doesn't like us, it's their own stuff. It's not us. As long as we're being clear in who we are, we're putting our voice out into the world, we're doing what we love, that will allow us to move forward. And we've got to really position ourselves in that situation. Because I really believe that, yes, life is hard, things happen to us in life, but it doesn't have to define us. It doesn't have to be that way, but instead, we can actually reposition ourselves in a state of strength, of core values of who we are and where we're heading. So, the way that I do this is that I get a clear vision, an idea of the values that I have, and values are really the things which are important to you. And the reason why I say that, because the values, as they are important to us, they drive us forward. So if you're clear on your own values, now a value could be success, it could be money, it could be family, it could be excitement, it could be passion. But when we get consciously clear of our values, the things which really make us buzz, make us really sing in the world, we will get far more clearer and will be far more driven. So consider, what values do you have? What really gets you going when it comes to who you are as a person, who you are as an identity level? Because our identity is the driving force. We can get stuck and lost in behaviors or our environment or our capabilities. But the real true level of mastery is being clear on who you are, positioning yourself and understanding your values. Consider writing out maybe a statement that I am Joseph Clough and I will and I am and I'm going to, I'm achieving whatever it may be for you. It can be, I prefer the present tense, like I am X, Y, Z. Because that really puts you in that feeling of assuming the feeling of having achieved your goal, and it causes that action to be really aligned when you go for it. So I really consider in the present tense and consider my values and who I am and where I'm heading. Declare to yourself on the inside world and even the outside world, this is who you are, and you will not care for any fear anymore. Rosa Parks said something like, once you stand up to fear, you do away with it. Once you make the decision for doing what you want to do or going for your goal, fear disappears. So you can really position yourself in the right mentality on the inside of you that will carry through in your actions. And that is the key point, being clear in who you are. So consider living beyond your comfort zone. Do away with fear. Be who you want to be. Life is too short to be living in other people's dreams or living in how society should expect us to be. Be clear on who you are, your identity, and leave your imprint on this world that allows you to know that you're living life and you're loving life. When people say, what is the meaning to life? I just think it's living a life of meaning. So consider your values as your meanings, the things which make you sing. When you do, not only will you feel aligned to it, but you'll be sending a signal to your unconscious mind clearly and definitely to get those things in the same frequency to those values. So if you had a real core value for money and that was really in the forefront of your mind and you thought about it in a very abundant way, a rich way, you're sending that signal to your unconscious mind to look for avenues and opportunities to bring that into your life. Because if you're thinking about scarcity, whether it be money or not, it could be about relationships, it could be about doubting your health, your self-esteem, depression, anxiety, fears, phobias, you name it. If you're positioning yourself, if you can imagine there's you and you're positioning yourself into that lack of, your scarcity, your focus is always, when it's always there, you're shining more of that up in your reality. And as you're shining that up in your reality, that is all you see in the world. Well, maybe not all you see, but it's the most predominant thing you see. Because that is your expectation. That is your identity at that moment. That is the values that you're pushing out there. But we need to reposition ourselves in a place where you are abundant, that you are worthy, that you are good enough, that you are capable. And it all comes with being clear in who you are. No one can define this for you. No one can define you as an identity. You are unique, you are capable. And if you say to me, well, Joseph, I didn't go to school, or I haven't got the right qualifications, or I'm not a natural confident person. Well, I'm telling you right now, I was terrible at school. I was a dropout in college. I didn't even pass college. Yet I've managed to be able to position myself in where I want to be. Or I used to be incredibly shy. I used to feel anxious, and absolutely, I promise you, for the most of my life, felt continuous fear and unease. I was always fearful. I was always thinking about what might happen, what other people are thinking of me, how I should be in this world, in terms of how other people expect of me. But it got to the point where I thought, this is not who I am. I shouldn't have to live my life in other people's eyes. I'm going to go out there and instead project my reality. I'm going to perceive the opportunities out there. I'm going to take massive and inspired action in making things happen. Do you see, it all comes from within you. And you've got to really put your focus on what you desire, in who you are, your values, even your personality and how you like to be. Because you have all the capabilities in there. You have your gratitude, your goals, and really be clear. Absolutely, I would suggest in paper form, because that becomes almost like your mission statement for life. And you can wake up in the morning and look at your mission statement and say, this is where I'm heading today. What can I do? Say, what 5 things can I do which are in alignment with my vision and my goals? with all my qualities of me as a person, what can I bring from my values, from my qualities, from my goals, which will move me forward in time to getting what I desire? And when you do, you're actually instigating change. Because ultimately, you've got to be the instigator of life. You've got to be the one who goes out there and does things. It may not be that easy at first. You might be experiencing fear. But at the end of the day, experiencing that fear or that comfort zone even, that worry or that scarcity, just feeling that for a moment before you make that decision and going for it is far smaller than a lifetime of regret. Imagine looking back and thinking, well, there's what I wanted, but I never really did it. I was living in other people's eyes. You may even be in that position right now. So maybe for the last 5 years, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, you've maybe been thinking that way. However, it doesn't have to be like that. Your past doesn't have to define where you are going right now. You see, the things that you do in this moment will then become your new past. So there's where you start to put the foundations in place, no matter what your age is, no matter what you think you are, because you're always more worthy, you're better than anything that you actually think of. We get this limitation of limiting beliefs, but end of the day, you are pure energy. You are, I believe, magnificent. You have all the qualities, all the inner resources to achieve any type of goals you want to go for. Yes, it's all on you to do, because no one can make you do these things, but you have the substance within you. You have that potentiality to bring that to life, and you bring it to life by simply dictating your desires, declaring who you are as a person, and bringing those into your life, projecting it out there. You see, when you go there in your mind, and you're thinking about it, and you're thinking, this is exactly what I want in the positive, because obviously if you're thinking all the things you don't want, that's where your focus is again. We want to really put our focus on what we do want, and when we go there in the mind, the unconscious mind finds it incredibly hard to differentiate between what is imagined and what is real. There's lots of studies about this, about how the mind and body really interconnect with each other. It's like watching a movie. You can watch a fearful movie. You know it may not be in life as a horror movie. You know that doesn't exist. It's just a movie. Yet you have an active response of maybe fear. And it's the same for everything. When you go there in your mind, you'll be going there in your body. So be clear and declare that this is who I am and there's where I'm heading. Put that very clear in your mind. Write it on paper. Look at it every day. Imagine it in your mind. And that will start the new neuroconnections, the new foundations of who you are and where you're heading. Then that will allow your action, like the things that you do in life, because you've got the thought frequency of where you're heading and what you want to do in life. As you can have those thoughts there, you're sending that same thought frequency into your neurology. Your body is feeling it, is experiencing it, and is bringing those feelings into life. The more consistent you do this, your body then begins to react that bit quicker, that more authentically, and that way in life. Because you hear about people saying, fake it until you make it. Well, actually, although we think, that's not always that good, but it's actually true. There have been done studies on this about people doing presentations and actually putting yourself in that pose of power. It actually changes the way that your brain works. It changes the way that you feel inside by just changing your posture. I know when I kind of slouch, because I used to slouch when I was younger, when I've been on my computer and that, it doesn't make me feel powerful. However, when you're in this powerful state, you can really project out there. So go there in your mind, reposition yourself physically in who you are, how you walk, how you talk, breathing or speaking from the right place, that you're projecting it out there in your reality. When you do so, it's almost like you're declaring that this is the way it's going to be, that you refuse to buy into other people's thoughts or other expectations. And after a period of time, you begin to even not take notice of what other people think. So many times that people have said to me in my business model, oh, you're going to be doing all this stuff for free, you're not going to make money. Or the competitors say, oh, why are you doing all these things? And at the end of the day, I don't really care about what people think. Because, and it's not that, I'm not trying to say that to be mean, because I'm very highly empathetic. It's why I love helping people. But at the end of the day, that's other people's thoughts. And I can't live my thought or live by their thoughts or expectations for me and where I'm heading. I can only really be the best me that I can be. So as I look at my values that I really want to bring into the world, as I look at my personality traits, or as I look at my let's just say, my qualities, my goals and my vision, and I position myself and allow my focus to project that into my world, I become aligned with my desires. I don't self-sabotage. I don't have that fear. I stand up to things, and it allows that fear to disappear. I believe that, forgive me if I'm wrong here, because I don't always have, it just kind of popped up into my mind, but I believe in Huna, which is mainly a Hawaiian thing, but it's kind of been passed around over the years, before that as well, I believe. But they have this kind of metaphor of like the devil on your shoulder. And if it's not Huna, please forgive me, because it's still a great metaphor to live by in life. It's like, imagine like this kind of devil on your shoulder saying, oh, what about this? What about that? And that kind of anxiety, your doubts, you can literally symbolically experience it in any way. And at the end of the day, the philosophy is, when you stand up to that and you take action on it, it's like that part thinks, okay, you completed it, you achieved it. I don't have to keep prodding you anymore. I don't have to keep on giving you anxiety or worry, because you've made the new stand, you've gone beyond your comfort zone, so take action on it. Because if you prolong that fear, if you prolong that scarcity or that doubt, that feels like it becomes a part of our identity. That's where the problems get involved. It becomes such hardwired in our neurology. And even if you're like that now, we can still make that change. Listen to my hypnosis for free on my apps. Really go and look at my Facebook page and my Twitter page and so on. Immerse yourself with information which is empowering you and moving you forward, because that becomes the new pathway, that gets the new neuroconnections. So when you stand up and you declare your identity, your values, and who you are and where you're heading, you're sending that signal to yourself and the world that this is the way it's going to be. And therefore, you do away with fear. You do away with anxiety. It may be there at first, but when you take action, it will begin to simply disappear. Just always know this, that you are worthy, you are good enough, you have all the resources, and that I believe in you. It's why I really create all these free videos and audios, because I want to support you. I want to be like cheering you on each moment of the time while you listening to my work, because I just know that you are capable and you can have anything that you desire. It's all within you. And I say that from experience, because I felt very limited when I was growing up. I had the perfect childhood in terms of my environment, my parents and so on, but for whatever reason I didn't feel worthy or good enough. I had all that fear. But the day I actually took action on my life, became clear in my values and where I'm heading, took responsibility and ownership over my own thoughts and my own body, over a period of time it became so much easier. So give it time. Immerse yourself. Expand your comfort zone. Position yourself physically and mentally, having that psychology and physiology of excellence, and really project and perceive it in your mind and body. Put it out there. Radiate it. If you want more money, radiate it on the inside and physically. If you want a better relationship, radiate it in your whole being. If you want a better career or a promotion or a new job, radiate it throughout your whole neurology. When you do, you're sending that signal out there to your desires, and you're matching the exact same frequency, which means you're going straight on that pathway. So give up the expectations of others. Give up the reasons and excuses. Live life the way it's meant to be, one of happiness, excitement, love, bliss, all of it. Enjoy the journey, enjoy the fears when you come there and go, I'm just going to do away with this now. I'm going to take action on it. Because when you do, you live life the way it's meant to be. You create the world. Rather than being a product of life, you allow life to be a product of what you choose to create. You see the world around you and your actions, and you think, I'm creating this right now. And that means you can undo old creations, you can reposition yourself and move forward in exactly how you desire. It's all on you. You can do this in every way. So have a wonderful day, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. And by the way, if you want these videos way before I actually publish them publicly, go ahead to josephclough.com. So that's C-L-O-U-G-H, so josephclough.com. Sign up to my newsletter and you'll get all these videos completely for free right to the date I publish them. I do them every week, and I put them usually, if you're listening to this video or this audio when it's all public or even on my app, this video is probably like a month old. So you can get all the information far quicker than anyone else by signing up to my newsletter. I'm not a seller. I will let you know about my events occasionally, but at the end of the day, it's all free content, and I always give wonderful stuff out there. So I'm just here to support and serve you. So have a wonderful day, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Many thanks and goodbye.